Hello and welcome to my English Masterclass. In today's session we're going to look at sentence structure, and this presentation is called Don't Compound Your Simple and Complex Sentences. Now there are three types of sentences in the English language, and you will be asked during your exam to give examples of the three types of sentences. So let's have a look at the sentences, and hopefully by the end of this session you will understand what's required. So what is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words that are put together to mean something. A sentence, to make sense, must include a subject and a verb, and your subject is usually a noun and a verb is a doing word. And there's an example. Many customers enjoy the convenience of paying with credit. The customer in this case is a subject, and paying, you're doing something, you're paying with credit, that's the verb. So the subject is usually a noun and the verb a doing word, an action word, something happening. A sentence may also have adverbs. These are words that describe verbs. If you think about it, you're adding information to a verb. That's the best way to remember the function of an adverb. Many customers enjoy the convenience of paying with credit. Paying is a verb. You're adding information to the verb, convenience of paying. There you go. A sentence may also contain an adjective. These are words that describe a noun. And similar to the adverb, you're adding information to a noun. It'd have been better if they called them adnouns, but for some reason they're called adjectives. And all you're doing is adding information to a noun. And here's an example. Many customers enjoy the convenience of paying with credit. So customers is a noun, and you're adding information to the noun, many customers. That makes that quite clear. There are three types of sentences. One is a simple sentence, one is a compound sentence, and the other is complex. So let's explain the difference between these three types of sentences. A simple sentence consists of only one thought, one idea, one expression. This is known as a clause. Many customers enjoy the convenience of paying with credit. Within that sentence there is only one thought, one expression, one idea. Another example is, this has led to an increase in debt for many households. Again, one thought, one expression, one idea. That's a simple sentence. But we don't speak in simple sentences. If we spoke in simple sentences, we would sound like robots. My name is Bill. I like to run. I run fast. Well, we don't speak like that in real life. So we have to create sentences to mimic real life. So here we go, number two. Number two is called a compound sentence. A compound sentence consists of two simple sentences joined by a connecting word, punctuations like comma, colon, etc. Now, the first example here is we're using a comma. You remember in school you're taught a comma is a natural pause. That may be a result of it, but the main function of a comma is to separate two simple sentences, or rather join together two simple sentences to make the spoken word sound, the written word sound like the spoken word. So many customers enjoy the convenience of paying with credit. This has led to an increase in debt for many households. Let's use a connecting word now, in this case, but. Many customers enjoy the convenience of paying with credit, but this has led to an increase in debt for many households. And you'll see, because we've used this connecting word, we don't need a comma, or we don't need any punctuation. That's why it's called a connecting word. Another word that you might hear is called a conjunction. It's where it joins two simple sentences to make a compound sentence. Other connecting words could be and, so, that, until. There's a whole raft of words you can use to join two simple sentences. Please note that two simple sentences are joined to create a compound sentence and now consists of two clauses. So a simple sentence has one clause. A compound sentence has two clauses. We'll now go on to the complex sentence, which consists of three or more clauses. It's important to remember that. And here's an example, and I've highlighted it in different colours so you can understand a bit better what I mean. Since a business letter is usually from or to an organisation, it must be written correctly, it will create the wrong impression if there's errors in it. And you'll see the colons used here to change slightly the direction of the sentence. I want you to note a few things. In the first instance, if you take the middle section out, you will notice that the sentence makes sense. Since a business letter is usually from or to an organisation, it will create the wrong impression if it has errors in it. It still makes sense. You can take the last part out here, the blue part. Since a business letter is usually from or to an organisation, it must be written correctly. Again, it still makes sense. But if you take the first part out, it must be written correctly. It will create the wrong impression if there's errors in it. What must? What will create them? It doesn't make sense. And that's because the first clause, or the main clause, without this clause the rest of the sentence doesn't make sense because there is no subject. And if you remember from the structure of a sentence must have a subject and a verb. And in the second two parts there's no subject. So it doesn't make sense. Remember, subject, verb. The second clause is called a dependent clause. That relies on the main clause to make sense. And like the other part of the sentence, it can be removed and the sentence will still make sense because there's a subject and a verb. And it's the same with the third clause. So you've got the main clause at the very beginning and then two dependent clauses. Now you can be more than three clauses in a sentence. You can be four, it can be five, and it's still a complex sentence. So a complex sentence consists of three or more clauses. Some people don't know when to finish a sentence. Usually it's around about five. You would put a full stop and maybe start a new sentence. But if it's relevant, you may more than five. Or you may want to end in a list. Again, that's part of a complex sentence. So be careful when you're using a complex section. And when the best way to understand the three different types of sentences is we normally read different types of materials every day. It could be books, magazines, anything like that. While you're reading it, just take that extra time to see how the sentences are structured. That's the best way to understand the three different types of sentences. And I'm sure very soon you'll get it in your head and you'll understand it better. Because remember, you have to give examples in the exam. So that is the three types of sentences in sentence structure. Use them wisely. I hope that helped. Good luck.